Football is back, and so is Texans Training Camp today. Drew Dougherty here in between the stadium, NRG Stadium, and the practice facilities over at the Houston Methodist Training Center as the Texans got back to work in pads for the very first time since they left the field at Arrowhead Stadium last January. We've got a lot to cover on the show, including a one-on-one with Brennan Scarlett, but we start things off with John Harris and his Harris Hits. He's actually been inside at practice, saw some interesting things, and here's his take on what went down on day one.
Day one of training camp 2020, man, it was good to see the 2020 Houston Texans in the flesh for the first time and realize, hey, we're less than a month away from going to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. So here are a few Harris Hits from that first practice day right over there in the Houston Methodist training bubble. It was fun to see the new players, David Johnson, Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Eric Murray, and a number of others wearing the Texans gear for the first time. Boy, that was really neat to see. And those guys, about as good as advertised, no doubt about that. Because defensively, the rookies, John Grenard, Ross Blacklock, John Reed, seeing them up close for the first time, boy, they are physical specimens. It's gonna be interesting to see if they can have an impact on this defense in 2020. And finally, Deshaun Watson. I end with the best. Last drive of the day, 11 on 11, 75 yards down the field at his pace, at his tempo. He did it all the way up and down the field, making some great catches, some checks at the line. He had the offense right where you'd like it to be at this point and right where you want to see it going into the 2020 season. Deshaun Watson as our quarterback, boy, that's really refreshing and thankful. Oh, my goodness. Hey, you want more Harris Hits? Go to HoustonTexans.com. HoustonTexans.com, the app, anywhere you can pick it up. You'll catch my Harris Hits there.
All right, good stuff as always from John Harris. We'll have more from him throughout the rest of training camp. We turn now to a one-on-one with outside linebacker and special teams standout Brennan Scarlett. He held it up via Zoom with our own DP Sidhu.
Joining me today on the Deep Slant presented by Xfinity, he's outside linebacker Brennan Scarlett, former Stanford grad, also the host of B-Scar TV. Great to see you back in my studio, Brennan. How's it going today? First full day of pads. What was it like?
Everything's been great. It's, strange times, wearing the mask everywhere. But, today at practice it got back to a little bit of normalcy with putting the pads on, getting the pads popping a little bit. And it felt like training camp. And it was a good day for sure.
What's your biggest piece of advice to anybody trying to make the team right now with the Texans under the circumstances that there are no preseason games and such limited reps?
Yeah, even as in a normal preseason, every opportunity that you get is really important that you take advantage of that. And looking at this offseason with, like you said, no preseason games, it's been shortened. There was this, couple-week acclimation period where coaches really weren't able to see what you can do as a football player. So now going forward, any mental rep, any time in meetings, when you're asked the question, any walkthrough, whatever the case is, a one-on-one, it's really important for those guys, for any rookie, undrafted or drafted, to make sure that, you prove that that you're capable of doing what's asked of you and you can handle that responsibility.
You have a few weeks here now of padded practices. You'll have some intra-squad scrimmages. What do you hope to get out of it? What do you hope to sort of accomplish for yourself personally in these next few weeks of camp?
The big thing for me right now is figuring out the routine, with training camp, with how I'm taking care of my body, how I'm learning the plays, how I'm reviewing film, how I'm eating, how I'm sleeping, figuring that out, right? Like these next 3 weeks or however many days it is before week one, it's important to really nail down those things so that I can be at peak, performance come week one.
All right, year 5 for Brennan Scarlett. Can't believe it. Seems like just yesterday you were a rookie yourself, Brennan.
There we go. Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Absolutely. All right, looking forward to seeing a lot of those celebrations on the field this year. Best of luck. Brennan Scarlett on the Deep Slant podcast presented by Xfinity.
So very excellent to be back talking about football here on Texans Training Camp today. And before the show ends, we got to leave you with some highlights from day one of Texans practice.